With that, though, it's some other news tonight. Our top story happening right here where we are in Chicago. Lollapalooza, one of the country's largest music festivals, now underway tonight, but happening at the same time that this nation is at a COVID tipping point. Cases across the country continue to rise, and that has now prompted the White House to issue a vaccine mandate for federal workers. And as a reminder, the federal government is the largest employer in America, more than 4 million employees, in fact, all around the world.
And here in Chicago, hundreds of thousands of people expected to attend dozens of shows over the next several days, making Lollapalooza one of the largest events in the U.S. since the start of the pandemic. You're looking at time lapse showing just how many people poured into the festival today alone. We're talking tens of thousands at this one stage. Hours into the event, Cook County, which includes Chicago, crossed into the CDC's list of areas with substantial COVID transmission. The CDC recommends masks for everyone at that point, even the vaccinated. Chicago's mayor says that she may do just that if the city reaches an average of 200 new daily cases. Right now, that number is at 192. Concerns tonight, though, that few masks and no social distancing may send the nation's third largest city regressing in its fight against the virus. NewsNation's Adrian Bankert is live for us in the studio tonight. Adrian, a lot of people wondering if this is a good idea right now.
That's correct, Marnie. Nearly 500,000 people expected to attend the 4-day music festival. And although there are concerns surrounding Lollapalooza and the decision to hold such a large-scale event during a pandemic, most people are confident, at least those who've attended the event, that it's safe to go to concerts. Lollapalooza is back after a year off due to the pandemic.
I feel so happy to be here. I'm so just grateful for science and the vaccine, and that I'm able to come and feel safe.
The festival attracts music fans from all over the country and around the world, and this year organizers expect more than 100,000 people a day to visit Chicago's Grant Park, raising some concerns about the large crowds as the Delta variant spreads among the unvaccinated. But many say Lollapalooza is also bringing a sense of normalcy back to Chicago's summer.
I'm having the time of my life.
This year, the 4-day fest returned with new requirements. Each person has to show proof of vaccination.
All the same, Wes. As long as you had your vaccination card, it's fine.
Or proof of a negative COVID-19 test within the last 72 hours.
If you don't have a vaccine, you have to show a negative test.
And on the first day of the fest, it seems to have worked. Organizers tweeting this message to fans. Great job, Lollapalooza fans. More than 90% of you showed us your proof of vaccination today. Thanks go out to the 8% who brought their proof of negative COVID-19 tests. And for the 600 of you who showed up without paperwork, we hope to see you tomorrow. But not everyone thinks a music festival is a good idea right now.
It was tried in Europe, actually, about a month ago, and it didn't work. There were over 1,000 cases from that event, similar type music event. This is basically a setup for a super spreader event. This is the absolute wrong time to have this kind of event.
Okay, I just was getting a little excited over here, guys, because I wanted to show you how many people you can see from this aerial shot of Grant Park here in Chicago in the South Loop. So many people, again, 100,000 a day. And again, officials are trying to avoid any spread, any surge, even going so far as to set up a rapid COVID testing station outside the park. The test itself takes about 3 minutes, but it could take an hour to get through the line again to see some of these performers. Marnie?
Wow, I mean, looking at those images, it is a massive event. Adrian, what is Chicago's Mayor Lightfoot saying about an event this big right now?
Well, Chicago's mayor, she, of course, and festival organizers do believe that all the proper precautions have been put in place to prevent kicking off another surge of COVID-19. A lot of optimism here. Marnie?
And a lot of people ready to have some fun, hopefully safely. Adrian, thank you. Well, this isn't the first large-scale event since the pandemic. In the Netherlands, 1,000 people tested positive after a festival that saw 20,000 in attendance. In the U.S., one festival did have success. More than 60,000 people went to an event in Texas recently. Study after that showed the positivity rate was 3%, lower than the 5% threshold set by the World Health Organization last year. And the largest event in the U.S. since the pandemic was the Indy 500. That was in May. Out of the 135,000 people who attended, health experts only traced 19 cases of COVID.